Hi, my name is Sonia. I'd like to offer you a pocket practice to help strengthen and stabilize the pelvis. We'll start on hands and knees. And here we're focusing on stretching the back. On an inhalation, lengthen through the spine. On an exhalation, releasing back towards a child's pose. Inhaling, coming forwards to hands and knees. Exhale, releasing back towards your child's pose, nice and slow. As you move in and out, be mindful of the center line of the body, of the midline of the body. Inhaling through the center line. And exhaling back through the center line of the body. And after about 3 to 4 repetitions, pause at the bottom, relax completely, resting the forehead on the floor, or if the forehead doesn't reach the floor, on blocks or pillows. You might like to rock from side to side or swirl the forehead around on the floor. After you feel like you've gotten a nice stretch in the back, then you're going to make your way onto your belly. We're going to take the legs long, have the arms down alongside you, elbows hugging into the body, hands at shoulder level, and it's like you have one long tail behind you. On an inhalation, ground down through the tops of the feet, low belly draws to the spine, lifting up, elbows hug in, shoulder blades down and together on the back, exhaling, lowering down, turning the head to the side to get a stretch in the neck if that feels good, relaxing completely at the bottom and then beginning again, inhaling up, and you can lift up as high as feels good on your back. You can always just lift up a little bit doing a baby cobra, or you can lift up higher depending on how your back is feeling at any one point. After about 3 to 4 repetitions, if you'd like, you can pause at the top, feel a little more strengthening, a little more stabilizing at the top, and then slowly releasing down. And then from here, you can take the legs hip width apart and continuing on an inhalation, grounding down through the tops of the feet, grounding down through the hips as you lengthen up through the spine, slight tuck in the chin to keep the core engaged, and slowly lowering down. You can have this arm position. Arms can be always resting on the ground to give you more support or a little more strengthening. Arms lifting off the ground. And as you move in and out, try to be mindful of the center line of the body. Moving through the center line, both sides of the body working equally. And after about 3 to 4 repetitions, if you'd like a little more strengthening at the top, you can pause there, taking a few breaths at the top. And when you're ready, lowering down. And when you get to the bottom, take the legs mat width apart and have just a gentle, small little internal rotation of the thighs to feel integration or the lower core muscles, lower pelvic floor muscles engaging. And continuing grounding down through the tops of the feet, hips ground down to lift you up, grounding down to lift up, and exhale, lowering down. Moving in and out with control. You're looking for slow, continuous movement, pausing at the bottom, relaxing completely. Both sides of the body working equally. If you feel one side of the body is not doing its fair share, you can bring more awareness to that side. More focus on that side. And after about 3 to 4 repetitions, you can pause at the top and create a little more strengthening. And so what's happening here is we're progressively widening the legs, and that helps to stabilize the pelvis. We're accessing different muscles that connect into the pelvis to bring stability there. And you can lower down. You can always skip the pause at the top if you don't quite feel ready for that. And you can go even wider if you'd like. Go wider than the mat and continue to go in and out like that. I'm going to move on here. We're going to come back up to hands and knees, and that was a lot of strengthening for the back, so we'll stretch out the back. We'll do a variation. On the inhalation, move into that cow position, sit bones to ceiling, crown of the head to the ceiling. And on an exhalation, move into cat, where you round the back, gaze towards the navel, and then through this rounded back, release back towards your child's pose. On an inhalation, scooping the heart forwards and up, coming to hands and knees. On an exhalation, rounding back. And here as well, looking for slow, continuous movement. Both sides of the body working equally. Both sides of the body moving in rhythm with one another. And if one side of the body is kind of lagging behind, bring more awareness to that side of the body to help bring it on board. After about 3 to 4 repetitions, resting in your child's pose, allowing the back to release and stretch out a little bit more. You might like to rock from side to side. You can stay just like that, or if you want to continue on, then from there, you'll move onto your back, and we'll do a similar exercise with bridge pose. Here with the soles of the feet on the ground, legs are going to be drawn in towards one another, arms down alongside you. And on an inhalation, lifting up. If you'd like, you can sweep the arms overhead, legs pressing in towards one another. Slight tuck in the chin. And on an exhalation, see about coming down one vertebra at a time. Coming down evenly through the center line of the body without a wobble. Relaxing completely at the bottom and then beginning again, grounding down through the heels to lift up. Legs drawing in towards one another. You don't have to have the arm sweeps, but if you want to add in some work for the shoulders, the upper body, you can. And after about 3 to 4 repetitions, going up and stay. And as you stay, you may choose to keep the arms down alongside you, or the arms can be overhead. If you want a little more, as you stay, you can micro lift the heels off the ground, as if you could slip a piece of paper underneath the heels. That will further strengthen the backs of the legs. And after about 3 to 4 breaths, or longer if you want a little more strengthening, lowering down one vertebra at a time, evenly through the center line. Pause at the bottom, relax completely. And then see about taking the legs hip width apart now. And continuing moving in and out with your breath. If you'd like, you can add the arms. Inhaling, lifting up through the center line. Exhaling, lowering down through the center line. Both sides of the body doing the same thing. And the spine like a string of pearls. Lifting the pearls one vertebra at a time up. And lowering the pearls one vertebra at a time down. After about 3 to 4 repetitions, you can stay in that lifted position if you'd like to create a little more stability, a little more strength. As you stay, arms can be overhead, or maybe you choose to keep the arms down alongside you. You can micro lift the heels off the ground if you'd like, strengthening the backs of the legs a little more. And keeping the jaw, neck, and shoulders nice and relaxed. And so here we're stabilizing the front of the pelvis with bridge pose. And we're also accessing all those little muscles that connect into the pelvis. After going hip width, now we'll take the legs mat width apart. and continuing to go in and out with legs mat width apart. Moving slowly, evenly, and try not to have a wobble as you go down or as you come up. But nice, fluid, continuous movement. At the bottom, give yourself permission to relax completely. Another arm variation, if you'd like, is you can snow angel the arms overhead if reaching the arms overhead doesn't feel good in the shoulders. Moving nice and slowly, nice and evenly. When we move quickly, we're relying on the muscles that are already strong. But when we move slowly, we help to bring all the muscles on board. And it's also more calming for the mind. The mind following that slow, continuous movement. After about 3 to 4 repetitions, you can stay in that lifted position. Arms can remain down alongside you or can be in any other position that supports you. You can micro lift the heels off the ground if you'd like. And after about 3 to 4 breaths, lowering down once again through the center line of the body. And then drawing the knees into the chest and giving the back a little stretch with knees to chest on an inhalation, extending the arms long. On an exhalation, drawing the knees into the chest. So you can just do the hands and knees to child's pose with Cobra in between, that a varying leg position of Cobra with hands and knees back to child's pose a few times. Or you can continue to add on bridge pose with the progressively widening of the legs and then knees to chest after bridge pose. So many options for you here, but this is a short little practice that can help bring stability to the pelvic girdle. See you next time.